Good afternoon to you all here. A happy Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. And we escaped a significant tornado outbreak yesterday. If you were up in the Midwest and down into the plains, we had probably one of the biggest busted severe weather risk zones we've seen in quite some time. And that's a good thing. We had some issues with our wind vectors. Basically, in a nutshell, our winds were parallel in the upper and lower levels of the atmosphere compared to where when you want to see, tornado potential happen, you want to see those wind shear directional vectors go different directions. And so, just in a nutshell, a lot of things kept yesterday's potential from being at where it was at. We did see a couple confirmed tornadoes yesterday, not anything to the magnitude of what it could have been. So that's some really good news that we ended up looking out on that. But we do have another significant severe weather set up for today. We've got severe weather for tomorrow. Tomorrow is looking more and more interesting in terms of the potential for another significant tornado threat down in northern Texas and southern Oklahoma. You guys can see on your screen here, we've got a very elongated risk zone. We've got two enhanced risk, a huge slight risk, a huge marginal risk today. Most of this is going to be damaging winds and hail, but there will be a tornado threat, especially as we go to the afternoon hours down here into Oklahoma and into Texas, as well as up here into portions of Ohio and into portions of western Pennsylvania. Now, I'm going to let you guys know now, I'm probably not going to be live until a little bit later on this afternoon. We have storms coming through our area about midday today, so I'm going to wait for those storms to come through to make sure we don't get any tornadoes or anything because we've got the kiddos and everything. So we'll be on live stream probably around 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. That's kind of what I'm thinking. If it's a little bit later, that would be due to our storms coming through. So pending we still have power and pending we don't get any tornadoes today here in western Kentucky, I'll be on later on this afternoon to cover majority of the event for you guys. We already have watches and stuff ongoing this morning, so you guys can see two different areas, really three different areas of complexes ongoing. We've got a complex of thunderstorms developing up here in the western portions of Oklahoma. These are not severe right now. They are saying sub-severe, so just rain, thunderstorms, a lot of winds, maybe some hail. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch here for portions of Missouri, western Illinois, and then a new severe thunderstorm watch that just got issued here this morning as I'm making this video for you guys here into Ohio. So like I said, damaging winds, large hail going to be moving through with this MCS, this mesoscale convective scale system up here into the Ohio Valley, and then another one getting ready to move closer to Illinois and western Kentucky here. This one's been a little bit more on the weaker side. The one up here in Indiana is a little bit more intense. It's just now starting to develop. But I will mention we have plentiful instability out there today, so these storms are not going to have an issue getting going and becoming severe. We're going to just have to watch that spin up tornado potential. The tornado potential not as high as yesterday, but still it does exist, so we're going to have to watch that. Basically, in this video, guys, we're just going to walk through today, through tomorrow, the next 3 days, talk in a nutshell about what's going to happen next week. As we get closer, we'll talk more next week as we get through the end of this week here, but it looks like we'll have a little bit of a quiet period potentially on Saturday and Sunday before things potentially ramp back up again next week. So we're going to dive into that forecast here for you guys. We'll go ahead and start over here with what we've got here with the Storm Prediction Center, and this is just the newest updated version here from the Storm Prediction Center. We'll go to the day one outlook here. We've got, like I said, 2 level 3 enhanced risks. We've got one that extends all the way down here from basically western and northern Kentucky, all the way up here to Indiana, most of Ohio, western and central Pennsylvania, and northwestern portions of New York. Another enhanced risk down here into portions of Texas, south central Texas, and western, far extreme southwestern Oklahoma. A slight risk outside of that there in the yellow and the level 1 dark green shading there is the marginal risk. So all modes of severe weather will be possible in all risk zones today. Tornado risk is at 2 and 5%. You can see this is probably one of our biggest 2% tornado risk we've had this year. Please take the 2% and the 5% seriously, guys. You can get tornadoes in these. You can get strong tornadoes in these. The environment, in fact, does decide to produce. We can't have that happen. So a pretty big area of tornadoes there. 2% in the green, 5% there in the maroon. We're also looking at a damaging wind threat. Two different areas to watch here. We've got a 30% wind threat up here into the Ohio Valley and into the Northeast for winds up to 75, maybe 80 miles per hour. They're in that red shaded area that goes from Evansville and Louisville, Indiana, all the way up into, or Louisville, Kentucky, all the way up into Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Columbus, Pittsburgh, up towards Buffalo, New York. And then we've got a hatched 15% wind threat here. And this could be for significant winds over 80 miles per hour. So two different areas to watch here. Potentially a stronger MCS with some storms that do become supercellular down there. We could see some stronger damaging winds out of those as well. And then we get to the hail threat for today as well. And the hail threat at 15% there in the yellow, up there into the Northeast, 5% in the maroon. And then you can see the hatched hail threat down here. We could see hail once again up to 3+ inches in diameter down here in Texas and Oklahoma, and potentially even into portions of northwestern Arkansas and southwestern extreme portions of Missouri. They're going through this evening. So two different modes. I want to talk about this too. Really, the Oklahoma event and Texas event isn't going to initiate until about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. What's ongoing up here in the Ohio Valley and into the Midwest is already happening. We'll continue to see those storms happen this afternoon. Like I said, we'll be live later on this afternoon to cover this event when it starts to peak. We'll go through the model runs here in just a second on what's going to be happening with that. I want to mention tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be interesting. Once again, Texas and Oklahoma, you guys really need to be watching out for tomorrow, especially northern Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, south of Oklahoma City there. Really more of my concern is going to be, like I said, the Red River area here. And I do think personally when the Storm Prediction Center updates this risk zone today, I do think they're going to upgrade this area down here to a level 3 enhanced risk, there's a pretty decent chance that we get a hatched 10% tornado risk, meaning the threat for strong EF2 plus tornadoes in that area tomorrow. So we're going to have to watch out. Some of the guidance models that are coming in tomorrow even have a moderate risk. I don't think we're going to get to that threshold, but that's definitely something we're looking at as a higher tornado potential for tomorrow down in northern Texas and southeastern portions of Oklahoma. Outside of that, though, damaging winds, tornadoes, and large hail will be a possibility. We have a huge marginal risk outside of that level 2 slight risk that goes back up into the Ohio Valley. We're going to have another surface low that I mentioned the other day that's going to be moving through, giving us the chance for significant severe weather once again tomorrow. Tornado risk tomorrow at 2 and 5% from Arkansas down towards southern Oklahoma and into portions of northern and central Texas. The Dallas-Fort Worth area is the bullseye for tomorrow as of right now. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you need to be ready to go. Wichita Falls getting closer. This is just outside of Oklahoma City, potentially seeing the less worse of this. So that would be some good news. Wind threat at 15 and 5%, winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour, and a hail threat as well. We'll have a hail threat up here into portions of the Ohio Valley. We'll have a hail threat down here into Texas, Oklahoma, and into western Arkansas. But yeah, we'll be looking at all modes of severe weather. And then we get to day 3. And day 3 is a little bit more interesting too. We've got a huge marginal risk that extends from basically Detroit, Michigan, all the way down here to San Antonio, Texas, down through Louisiana, and up through majority of the Ark-La-Tex, the Mississippi, the Missouri Valley, and the Ohio Valley here. And what this is going to be is, once again, this shortwave trough is going to be moving through. If instability can increase, and we can see a little bit higher instability values along with this shear, we're going to have plentiful shear. I would not be shocked to see a day 3 slight risk issue today, or at least in the future, a slight risk being issued for the Ohio Valley. I do think the tornado potential looks a little bit more better here in the Ohio Valley, in the lower Tennessee Valley on Thursday. So we'll just have to watch that for you guys here. But nevertheless, though, all modes of severe weather will definitely be possible here on Thursday. We'll keep you guys updated with that as things change. And then nothing on the Storm Prediction Center calendar here for day 4 through 8. It looks like we're going to get a pretty decent little break here, potentially this weekend here from significant severe weather. I can't say there won't be some low and severe weather threats, but there will be the break from significant severe weather. And then we look to start to see things change in terms of what we're going to be seeing here going into next week. I want to start here with the southern mode and talk about what's going to happen. I want you guys to see this. We are going to get a flare up of supercell thunderstorms here in West Texas. And if these can mature and become, stay discreet and become surface based, we could get a strong tornado risk out of this today. I wouldn't rule out that threat, but it looks to me most of this is going to be hail with a couple of tornadoes. This will be forming by about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock this afternoon, going through the overnight hours here, or the evening to late overnight hours. And it looks like these are going to grow upscale, and we're going to get a pretty significant damaging wind event that's going to develop out of this along the Red River. So north of Dallas, in and around Dallas, south of Oklahoma City there, seeing the brunt of this here. So if you're on the Red River between like Wichita Falls, going over towards like the New Boston area here in Texas, we're going to have to watch this very, very closely this evening for a damaging wind threat. And then I want you guys to see something as well. We're going to have another, as that secondary surface low sets up for tomorrow's setup, we're going to have more potential cells firing off behind this in the overnight hours after 1 a.m. tomorrow going into the morning hours. This complex looks to start to die out as it enters the Missouri Boot Hill area, the Arkansas area going into the overnight hours. Then we see another damaging wind threat develop here going into early Wednesday morning across the Texas-Oklahoma line. That fizzles out, and then we get more round of supercells. We're going to have to watch this very, very closely tomorrow to see what actually develops in terms of the overall potential here. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. I will mention as well, the Ohio Valley here will go up to you guys so you can see kind of the next couple of days run. We're going to see this MCS that's moving through Missouri. We had a couple tornado warnings in Springfield this morning, actually observed tornado just outside of Springfield. We also had an 80-mile-an-hour destructive wind warning that was coming out of Springfield this morning as well. So hopefully everybody is okay down there. A lot of flooding also ongoing. We're going to see this MCS continue to work its way east here. Some potential damaging winds moving through western and central Kentucky this afternoon. Southern Indiana, southern Ohio. Looks to be we're going to get another area of showers and convection that's already existing right now that's going to continue to work east through Ohio and eventually into western Pennsylvania. We'll get some cells up into New York later on tonight as well. Just a lot of convection all over the board here. Damaging winds, isolated tornado threat, and some large hail will be the main priority threats for today. And then we get to tomorrow and things just get a little bit more uncertain. And then into Tuesday, a little bit more uncertain. But we'll have to watch for a lot of areas going through the next 2 to 3 days here. So we're going to keep you guys updated on that there. Just an idea here on what we can see with our global models here. We'll talk more about this in the future. But this is our shortwave trough here. This is what's left of our system from yesterday. This is why there's, a damaging wind threat that's pretty significant today, because we're going to have enough shear out there. Our shear in the lower levels and the mid levels today are more vertical like they were showing yesterday, where we're going to see more of a damaging wind threat, and there will be lots of convection out there. You can see that secondary surface low or shortwave trough that's going to be moving in here. This is what's going to give us that threat for severe weather across the Ohio Valley and the southern plains and the Ark-La-Tex today and tomorrow and into Thursday as well here. So, continuing to watch that piece move through, and we get a little bit of a break here, but I don't think that's going to last too long. Looks like we might even get some low and severe weather, again, some hails and some damaging wind potential maybe into the Ohio Valley again on Saturday and Sunday here. And then I want you guys to watch the left side of your screen. We're going to have a bowling ball trough that's going to come through starting on Monday. This will have the threat potentially for some severe weather going into Monday afternoon, into Tuesday, possibly into Wednesday here. Not too quite sure on how this is going to unfold yet. Once we get closer to this event, we'll, know more, but definitely going to be looking at the threat for some severe weather there. And then just a lot of different things are going to be happening going into next week here. So we're going to focus more on next week starting in tomorrow and into Thursday's video, maybe probably more into Friday than anything when we get this severe weather out of here. Let me give you guys an idea as well of just kind of where we could see this precip falling at, just to kind of give y'all, a nutshell view of this here. And we can see those showers and storms ongoing, the severe weather potential there with that low coming across the southern plains, the Ohio Valley, the Arklatuk there into the Missouri Boot Hill, and then that moves out. Possibly a little bit of some clipping isolated snow showers up here into Canada. I don't know how well that's going to verify, but a little bit of cold air coming down with that secondary trough coming up out of Canada on Saturday. And then after that, we get into next week and potentially a significant severe weather event and maybe even in some rain up into the Northeast. So lots of things to figure out over the next couple of days in terms of next week. I'm not too certain on that quite yet. We're going to get you guys through the next 3 to 4 days here. As I mentioned, like I said, we'll have a live stream later on this afternoon. We'll have a live stream tomorrow. We'll have a live stream there on Thursday to get you guys through the day. Like I said, depending on what happens with our storms today will depend on if we have a live stream today or not, but I will be on standby after 3 o'clock Central Time today for you guys. So we'll be here to keep you guys safe as always. Be mindful, guys. Have a way to get alerts on your phones, and we'll see you guys in the next one.